The Dying to Talk project is a national lottery funded project that we are working on at MacIntyre. It's a 3-year project and we're halfway through it, and the purpose of the project is to raise awareness around talking about death and dying with people with a learning disability, because at MacIntyre we know sometimes this doesn't happen because it's quite a taboo subject. So we can invest all our time and energy in supporting people to normalise talking about their future and making plans. So we're working really closely with people with a learning disability. We're working with families, their families and families that are just interested in finding out more, and we're also connecting with health professionals across the health and social care sector. So during a workshop we will run different kind of activities to really make sure we can listen and enable people to have a voice. So a lot of our activities will hopefully enable a person to make choices and decisions, but be aware that they can make those choices and decisions, because sometimes people think that those decisions have to be made by somebody else. So we want to empower people to be able to make those decisions and have an opportunity to voice what they want in their life and their future. So we do that in fun ways. So we use some great resources at MacIntyre that we've created, like our choice boxes, our posting our feelings boxes. So the reaction that we tend to get from people is completely mixed because everyone's different. So we have times where people walk into the room, find out what the topic is going to be about, and say quite openly, I don't want to be involved in this conversation. And I'm really supportive and mindful of that because that's somebody's choice. But I try and encourage, or the team at the Dying to Talk try to encourage ways to keep that person with us. And once they realise that they've got control, they tend to stay. And what I love is when they do stay, and that person who said to me quite directly and openly and confidently that morning, I don't want to be involved, is usually the person that really contributes to that day. That person would have just gone back home or gone back to the learning hub, wherever they might be. So it's really getting that message across in a way, yes, we're talking about death and dying, we're not going to pretend we're not, but we're doing it in a way that hopefully isn't scary.
I've been involved with the Dying to Talk project training since phase 1 of the project. It approached subjects that were very valuable to everybody. It approached subjects that a lot of people with a learning disability are excluded from, and I think it's given me and the other staff that are involved in the training a lot more confidence in approaching that subject and recognising that the people that we support actually need to make the choices. Sharon, who's a member of the IFT group and has been involved with phase 2 of the project, has experienced death of somebody very close to her, and I know that on the first session she really struggled. And so it's been nice, for want of a better word, to actually see her being more receptive to the sessions and very obviously opening up more and being more willing to talk about it.
In the first sessions I stood up and walked out because I didn't want to do it, but now I'm quite happy to do it.
The Dying to Talk project was split into 2 phases. Phase 1 was training staff and phase 2 was training people we support and their families and support staff as well. People have found it really, really helpful, and staff found it a really useful experience.
It was clear that there was a gap there for staff where they weren't confident talking to families and people we support about death and dying. And then with the pandemic, it became even more apparent that we needed to do this training and talk to people about death and dying and planning ahead for the future.
I think it's very important for Jess to be part of the Dying to Talk project because A, it's helping her, and she's becoming very open in talking about it when I'm not around, which is very important to me. But also she wants to help others understand it. She does have a friend whose parents won't talk about it at all, and she can't understand that, so she tries. And so I think it's important that she becomes comfortable with the whole thing. And watching her in the other room just now, she's comfortable going around to talk to people, and I just think that's great. And I know when I'm not around, she will turn to others, because she does tend to turn to me a lot, but she will turn to others, which is what the project's doing.
I lost 2 people in my family and someone last week. I lost my granddad 3 years ago. He died in his home, and I see him more than my nan did. He was so lovely.
Carol asked me a lot of things about dying and that, and I was talking to Carol, and Carol listened what I was saying. That's important.
Well, I found the workshops were really interesting. Yeah, I like making choices, yes. If it was unwell, though, it's to be my own choice to what to want to stay with.
It's important to people to have the chance of what they want to do and what they don't want to do. Not everybody's the same because everybody's different. So it's nice to have a choice of what you should have. And I lost a lot of friends, very close friends, and a lot of family to cancer, so it means a lot to me.
The Dying to Talk project really wants to open up the opportunity for people to come along, staff teams, family members, people that live with a learning disability, to find out more, because the more we talk about it and share the importance of talking about death and dying and planning for your future, the more people that are involved in that, the person at the centre, which is the person with the learning disability, are going to have so much more support around that conversation, and it will be ongoing then. It won't just sit with a Dying to Talk team. So if anyone is interested to find out more about the Dying to Talk project, we'd love to hear from you. We'd welcome you to workshops, we'd share our resources with you. Any questions, just get in touch with the team and we'd be happy to hear from you.